first. And sometimes you need those little anchor shapes in there to hold you together. Okay. And I'm looking at him, and he's really bothering me, because of this out of balance look. Zahn has really kept his together because he's got a really clean drawing of the eyes, for instance, and he's kept his skin a little lighter, so the contrast is the eyes show up well. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to put some more shadow detail in these eyes, and you know what? I'm just going to pick up this stuff. Here, the Prussian blue and the
And the
it'll work. It'll work.
Indigo.
It'll
and-
work.
Oh, indigo in
Burnt scarlet. What I like is that some of it's dried on here.
Yeah.
It's dried on here, and I could take a brush with a fine point and I can pick up tiny little amounts of paint that I can control. And that only works if you've got, this just makes it so much easier to get the right amount on the brush. Now watch me not have the right amount on the brush. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to get some of these darks in here on his eyes. He's got this, we talked about this area right in under here. It is got a really strong shadow, and so I'm gonna make some of that run there and make that, and then that shadow drops down right there. It's got a little drop off area. So the worst thing you can do is get just a really heavy liner thing right up near the eye, but he is real dark near there. So I'm kind of
He probably has some makeup on.
probably does. Yeah. Hadn't thought about that. He might. Yeah. So let's go back over some of our lines where we drew it. Let's just make that drawing stronger. Let's look at it that way. Okay, see how much better he looks already? And all I did was increase the drawing, the very thing that we traced. A lot of artists do that strong enough that becomes part, that their drawing becomes part of the piece that they do. I'm adding a little bit more shading in there. He's got some lashes up under here. I'm not going to do the lashes, or not right now, but I'm giving him a little line here that's underneath the lid. See, it's not, it's not right next to the eyeball. It drops down, so that lower lid's there. And then let's go ahead and let's give him let's dull down this color here. There's a shadow. Nearly always happens unless you take someone with a flash photography, that this area of the iris will have some shadow on it, like that. See how much better that looks than that does? Oh, that's a relief, isn't it? Okay, so I guess we're going to have to resort to some burnt umber. Burnt umber by itself is not that good. Is that my burnt umber? It just looks, looks a little murky. Well, but if I put that on him, that'll just look so out of place. He'll be ridiculous. But if I pick up a little of this.
What color is that?
Burnt umber.
I put some burnt umber with this other stuff, the sweater color.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Indigo and
So.
clean burnt sienna.
So, let's
Aw.
see about getting
Don't
these
have much.
eyebrows in. Now, I'm making individual hairs here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge them here in a minute. So, let's...
I'm thinking of unibrow.
Oh, no.
That video's gonna be so good. Merge them together.
That looks, that's still a little, uh,
Spock in the news, I don't know what his name is. He's got the biggest eyebrows I've ever seen.
I've got these brows too, not deep enough. So I'm adding a little more to the edges. Well, see, that still looks ridiculous. Okay,
Really
so
close to his, there's a shadow
there-
right there
there's-
that's really close
that
to
really
his
is
eyelid.
close to the lid. I'm not down far enough. So
There
I'm
you
going to
go.
drop water in here now.
Love that. Love it.
But there will be some bits.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, there. There will be some bits of stuff left here. I'm definitely going to have to go back over it. But, see, that makes a nice beginning. One of the things you have in here is you have shadow from the actual hair. You know, is covering and leaving the skin area in shadow, which is part of why we have this red up under here. So, probably needs to dry. Yeah, that needs to come down a lot further down here. So I've got his eyebrow too high up there now. Oh, gee. And he has a shadow here. And some of this may be some hair, and some of this is just the shadow shape there. And what I really need, I'm going to get flustered and mess him up. What I really need is just to blend some of that color in to the other color. Here we go. That's beginning to work. Well, let's just do a little bit of something more right here too, where that other shadow is. And let's come down here and there a little bit. So all we're doing is we're building in more darks, but in just small specific places now. You see how that now is a better eye, except his eyebrows are too thick. Sorry, dude. So the white of his eye is not anywhere near like that because his eyes are in shadow. If we could measure that one little bitty spot there that looks white, it's not white either. Okay, let's give him some color and let's start with a red or a blue. Oh, I don't know. Maybe a little each. Now, let's see. Yeah, I've got kind of a gray there. That'll work. Okay. Over here, you don't even see the white of the eye over there. Actually, that's about right. Now, this is a little too red. It's not a whole lot too red. It's certainly not too light. I think I'm gonna add a little more color. I'm just looking at it and adjusting. But here's the thing. You want to spend some real time looking at it, thinking carefully. This area right up under here is darker. And it's got some red to it.
Did you just pick up just the Quinn burnt sienna?
The burnt scarlet with a little bit of this brown stuff over here. You know what? I might just even leave that just like that. I'm not even soften the edge. Did you see what I'm doing here? Okay, that's still not enough shadow on the top part of the eyeball. See, I'm picking up some of those little bitty bits of paint that have dried. That's better. That was just standing out too much. We got to pull some up there. Okay. So that's getting kind of close. This over here is still too red. I was going to come on top of this with blues. Is what I was going to do. And now I'm like, we got to adjust something fast because things are just not looking right.
So you're not going to use blue?
I just did,
No?
actually. I just picked up the indigo.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I said one thing and did something else. The right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing, or the left hand. It's a One of them. One of them's confused, but I don't know which one it is. Let's look at the corners of his mouth. If your drawing has lost the corners of the mouth, I want you to find them. And get them back in there. Because without them, you are lost. You are really lost. I'm also going to go ahead and find this area. I'm just barely making a line there. And that's not all the shading we need, but those are areas that just need to get found.
The anchor points.
Yeah.
What
I-
size brush are you using?
Well, actually, I don't even like this brush.
Oh.
This is a Princeton Round Aqua Elite. It's a synthetic that's got a good point. And I was going to just do several things with it, and I just kept working with it. It's not a good one to work with. But you see the difference now between this eye and this eye?
Mm-hmm.
So what we did was we went ahead and put some of our darks in.
Mm-hmm.
And think of it, you're drawing. You know, you're almost like just drawing lines and little details in there. Okay.
Yeah, it's easier when it's.
Yeah, well,